You wake up one morning and something feels off. Your jeans fight back when you pull them on. Your belly presses a little harder against your shirt. And as you walk to the kitchen, you're almost embarrassed by how winded you feel from 10 steps. You tell yourself it's normal. You tell yourself everyone slows down eventually, but deep down you know the truth. Something's slipping, and it's slipping fast. And then when you catch your reflection in the microwave door, you don't just see fat, you see danger. You see the slow creep of insulin resistance. You see joints that can't take one more year of this extra load. You see the future you don't want. And that's when it hits you. You need to fix this, not tomorrow, not after the next diet, and now. And that's how you end up here. Listening to me explain how one stupid simple walk trick, something anyone can do, something no gym bro ever talks about, can double your fat burn without going any faster, without going any longer, without starving yourself, and without the misery of workouts that feel like punishment. But before you learn it, you need to understand what's really happening inside your body when you walk. Because you're not just burning calories, you're fighting a war. And every war has threats. When you walk the normal way, your usual pace, your usual posture, your usual rhythm, your body is basically asleep. Your muscles move on autopilot, your heart barely tries, your lungs give the bare minimum. And your metabolism? It stays in maintenance mode, which is science speak for we're not burning squat. Your fat stores? They stay locked, guarded, untouched, and that's why your walks haven't done a damn thing for your belly. It's not your fault. You were never taught that the human body only uses fat as fuel when it senses strain or instability. When the environment gets unpredictable, when the brain says, we're not safe, kick into survival mode. Regular walking doesn't trigger that switch. Your body feels no threat, no challenge, no reason to dip into the fat reserves you desperately want gone. So we change the rules. We introduce a threat, not a real one, but one your nervous system believes just enough to wake your metabolism up like a slap across the face. That's where the walk trick comes in. And yes, this trick feels weird the first time. You'll feel like you're doing something wrong, something unnatural, something your neighbors would definitely stare at if they saw you. But when you feel your belly heating up, when you notice your steps getting lighter, when you smell that faint warm metal scent your body gives off when fat starts to oxidize, you'll know it's working. But let me back up before I tell you the trick itself. Because to understand why it works, you need to know about the threat that's already stalking you every day you stay overweight. Fat doesn't just sit there like packing peanuts, it's alive, it's active, and it's dangerous. Visceral fat, and the stuff packed deep around your belly organs, acts like a toxic factory. It releases inflammatory chemicals that tighten your blood vessels, spike your blood sugar, and destroy your energy. Too much of it, and your body goes into chronic survival mode. Your metabolism slows down, your hunger hormones go wild, your muscles weaken, your sleep falls apart, your joints grind down like sandpaper. It's not vanity weight, it's threat weight. And the worst part? Regular walking barely dents it. Because visceral fat requires a specific metabolic trigger to burn, instability-induced caloric demand. And that's a fancy way of saying your body needs to feel like it's doing more than strolling through life half asleep. So we're going to wake it up. Here's where the trick begins. Picture yourself walking normally down the sidewalk. Now imagine someone suddenly shoves you forward. Not hard enough to knock you down, but hard enough that your steps instantly get shorter and sharper as you fight to regain balance. What happens? Your core tightens, your glutes fire, your hips stabilize, your arms swing harder, your nervous system jumps 10 levels. And your metabolism? It lights up. Why? Because your brain thinks you're about to fall. That's the key. Fat burn skyrockets when your body senses instability. But don't worry, you don't need to actually fall or get shoved or do anything dangerous. You just need to simulate the sensation. This brings us to the walk trick. You lean forward, slightly, just enough that gravity pulls you forward instead of your legs doing all the work. And to prevent yourself from tipping over, your core, hips, and glutes must fire continuously at low intensity, or the exact zone where fat oxidation peaks. The trick is called the forward lean shift, but don't let the name fool you. It's simple. You tilt your chest forward maybe 5 degrees. You let your weight move ahead of your feet, and your body immediately snaps into corrective mode, forcing your stabilizer muscles to take over. That alone can double your fat burn. But the magic happens when you add the second part of the trick. You shorten your steps. Not tiny little baby steps, just slightly shorter than your normal stride. When you shorten your steps while leaning forward, you trap your body in a controlled fall. Every single step becomes a microstabilization event. Your core tightens, your lower belly engages, your glutes activate, your hamstrings wake up. And because all of this requires constant low-level muscular effort, your body switches fuel sources. It stops relying on quick sugars and it starts burning fat. This is the same mechanism that makes hiking so effective. Uneven terrain forces constant microcorrections. Your body thinks it's under threat, and fat becomes the fuel of choice. But with this walk trick, you simulate that effect on flat ground. No mountains, no trails, no fancy equipment, just physics, just posture, just a tiny shift that tells your body, we're doing something important, burn the reserves. But of course, there's a catch. Your body adapts fast. Too fast. If you do this walk trick the same way every day, your nervous system gets used to it. The instability fades, the fat burn slows. So here's the part most people get wrong. You must occasionally break the pattern, and luckily, breaking the pattern is easy. Sometimes you lean a little more, sometimes a little less, sometimes you pick up the pace for 5 seconds, sometimes you slow down like you're sneaking through a dark alley, sometimes you swing your arms bigger, sometimes you tighten your core like something's about to jump out at you. Pattern breaks create metabolic spikes. These spikes keep your fat burn high long after your walk ends, sometimes for hours. Now, before we go deeper, let me explain why this trick feels like a survival technique, because it is. Humans evolved to burn fat when escaping danger or navigating unstable terrain. When you recreate that movement pattern, even gently, your brain thinks you're entering a risky environment. And when you enter a risky environment, your body dumps stored energy. Fat. That's the reason outdated advice like walk 10,000 steps fails so many people. It's all output, no stimulus, all movement, no challenge. You can walk 10,000 steps and burn the same fat as someone who took 3,000 steps with the forward lean trick. Now let's talk about the internal threats you're dodging every time you use this technique. Because fat isn't your only enemy. When you walk the normal way, your joints take the hit. Your knees absorb shock inefficiently. Your hips grind. Your lower back compensates. Over time, this creates inflammation, which blocks fat loss and increases cortisol. With the forward lean walk, your glutes and core take over, pulling strain away from your joints. Your body becomes more aligned. Your steps get softer. The force distributes evenly like shock absorbers on a car. Less inflammation, less pain, more fat burn. But the biggest internal threat? Oxygen inefficiency. Most people breathe shallowly when they walk. They don't fill their lungs, they don't expand their ribs. And when oxygen is low, fat cannot burn properly. Fat burning requires oxygen. A lot of it. With the forward lean walk, your diaphragm naturally expands. Your lungs open, your breaths deepen, and your body finally has enough oxygen to burn fat cleanly. It's not magic, it's mechanics. Now let me show you what this looks like in practice. Picture yourself walking through a grocery store. Instead of strolling behind the cart like a tired zombie, you shift your chest forward slightly. You shorten your steps. Suddenly your belly tightens. Your hips stabilize. You've turned aisle 5 into a metabolic battlefield. Or imagine you're walking your dog. Instead of letting the dog drag you around like a confused sidekick, you lean forward. Your core takes the lead. Your steps train your body instead of punishing your joints. Or maybe you're late for work and speed walking through the parking lot. Instead of flapping your arms like you're trying to take flight, you stabilize your shoulders, lean forward, shorten your strides, and transform that panic walk into a fat-burning sprint without ever running. No gym, no treadmill, no dumbbells, just physics and posture.